All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, we got the Google map pulled up, right? Looking at where Richard actually left, what possible routes he could have took to get to where he had to get, right? Now, I said this in another video, uh, even before we knew it was Richard Allen, that it's possible that the perps parked at the cemetery, right? And for the right reasons, because there's hardly anybody there. It's not packed. Uh, you're not parked around other people, and there's access to the river and to the bridge if you cross the river. So we're going to look at some things here and go over it real quick. Let's pull up Google Map. All right, now let's go down to where this all occurred, how this happened. Oh, that. And let's go to Richard Allen's home, which is right here. Okay, lived in this triangle here. Now, he could have come out his door, went to 200. He could have turned, took 200 down to zoom in here to 450 west, north 450 west. All right, then he comes all the way up to here. He's coming here and he hits west 300 north. He turns and now he is on his way. He crosses the bridge here, the small blue bridge. He continues on 300. He continues. He comes up. He hits the T, jumps over here. He waves to Ron Logan. Hello, Ronnie, because this is Ron Logan's. And he parks where? At the very back of the cemetery. Does what he needs to do. Whether the girls were still alive or not, Richard pulls out, continues on west 300. I don't know if you folks can even see this as I'm doing it. He continues. He continues. He passes the uh, place with the camera. He continues on 300, where he comes to this U-turn underpass. Right? I do believe it's Desert or Deer Road, Deer Creek Trail. And he makes himself a left, and then he's still on 300 north, west 300 north, and he continues to go all the way down. He jumps here. He could have took the highway. Uh, oh, got too big there. He could have took the highway back and jumped off. I don't think so, because he'd have to come all the way back down here, and I don't think there's any access. He'd be going out of his way. I imagine he came through here. He hooked around up here and then took this down. And then came in through here on these roads here. And that's very possible. He just did a complete circle. I mean, he might have jumped on the highway, but he would. I don't know. Can you get off the highway at this pass? It don't look like there's an off ramp or an on ramp. So he would have had to continue on the highway. Is this black is the screen black when I'm using it? When I'm switching back and forth? Hopefully you guys can see this. He would have had to. Oh, okay. I see. Now he can. He could have got off here on 78 or 423. Now, depending, also, I'm going to keep in mind that depending when this Google map was made, there might have been new roads put in where it made it even easier for him to get to where he had to get. So, yeah, either way he went, whether he took the long way through town, if he came through town here, there had to be other video of his vehicle coming through here. If he got on the highway, I don't know if there's any on the highway. I'm not sure about that. So there was numerous ways he could have got there. But I believe he came out of his house and he came down the down 200 or west 200 north or west 200 north, and he jumped on 450, and he just made a complete circle. Now, like I said, on this highway, I don't know if there's any exits until this overpass or this roundabout thing here. But if he came in here and went through town through East Main Street, then there's good chance they got his video also at other places. And here's a road with Marathon on it. I don't know if there's access there to get back here, but what is that right there? 421 Washington Street. I do believe this is where he lived on Whiteman Drive. You know, you see, you got a red dot here that shows this road, but the red dot is the outskirts of town. Okay, so he must have come all the way over. He did cross probably that blue bridge, that small blue bridge, went right past Ron Logan's, and pulled in there at the cemetery, done the thing. Whether he had the girls with him or whatever, he left. Or he might have took the same way around back to his house, did whatever or somewhere, and then dropped the girls off before 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock when they were supposed to be picked up. Possible. We don't even know what way. We know he's not going to tell the truth. We know that. He's not going to tell the truth. Once he found out they were onto him, I imagine everything he said after that point was a lie. Believe it or not. And I'm going to be honest with you. If they didn't have a photo of his vehicle, Richard Allen could have walked right out of his door, walked across the street, and Richard Allen could have walked all the way to the bridge from just his back door. Undercover, never seen. Right from this small creek that ran all the way to the bridge. Now, if they didn't have his car, I would say, could somebody do that? Walk from there to there in that time? Probably not. He would have had to got up early, had it planned. Once his wife left to work, him going to his mother's and all that was a lie. He got dressed and started on his way, Rambo style, right? Rambo style through this dark brush in the creek. That brought him right to the bridge. Well, literally from his back door, he could have hit this tree line and this walked right under the underpass and walked all the way in. Now, could he have done that in the time? Well, depending what time did his wife go to work? Did he leave before his wife left? Right? He said he got home at 11 o'clock, grabbed his jacket the first time they talked to him, and he went to the bridge. This was when he was not a suspect. He was a witness when he called in. Said he was there, right? Then he said he went to his mother's and came home at about 11, somewhere 11 maybe. Grabbed his jacket and head straight out to the. I don't know if he brought beers with him or had a couple beers before he left. But I thought when he first talked to the police, he said he was there and he was at his mother's, came home, grabbed his jacket. Whether he took Bear out there or was drinking and driving, whatever, and went out there. Maybe he was at home drinking, talking to the girls, seeing if they were going to be out there, or watching an Anthony Shops account or whatever, or using it. Either way, there's numerous ways after the job was done for him to got back to his house. But if he went through this town, if he passed this Marathon gas station, if he passed these areas in town, they had his vehicle on camera. Whether they did their jobs and looked in town at that time for his vehicle, they might have after they had him. So yeah, it's very possible. Anything could have happened. If, like I said, if they did not have his vehicle, I had that. He could have walked right out of his door. If he had a dirt bike or a four wheeler, he could have hit that creek line, and he could have rode a dirt bike out there. He could have rode a dirt bike or a four wheeler out there. So yeah, yeah. Either way, but my opinion is uh, the cemetery. Right? It was a weekday. It was seasonably warm. There was still snow on the ground, melting and stuff. Uh, during the week, people are at work, and not a lot of people parked at the cemetery to go there. So that was a place where he might have felt real comfortable. But once again, my apologies for getting it wrong with Brian James Chadwell, his voice guy. Although it was similar, man. And everybody's saying, well, he parked at this bridge here. Why would he park here? You're telling me he parked there and then he walked in? He would have had to walk in on this side over here, and he would have had to walk all the way around, all the way around. I don't know if he parked all the way down. I'm saying he parked here in the cemetery. Like I said before, yeah, And what's crazy is the night of the murders, there was people parked in that cemetery there. I mean, he did cross that bridge. He did cross that bridge. There's no doubt about it. He would have had to. Not unless they got it right and he did park there. And the footage that we're seeing of his car is flipped. Just like the photo that we seen of Abby and Libby, which might be in the back of his car. That photo we're looking at of them in the car, I'm questioning that might have been Richard Allen's car. And that was maybe the last photo they ever seen or was taken. Hello, Debbie. Debbie, when I switch to Google Map, does this screen go black? I just switched to Google Map. Can you still see the map when I'm moving it around? No. No. Yes. How do I do this? Do I break away Google Map and just use that? I don't know. But once again, I got it wrong. It wasn't Richard Allen as voice guy, although it did sound like him. And he did have a gait, right? He had a busted leg. I can see the map. Yeah, but okay, I'm going to click to Google Map and I'm going to move it around. Tell me if you can see it or if my screen goes black. All right, were you able to see that or did the screen go black? Hello? Can you hear me, Debbie? I wonder if that triangle. I bet you he was a. I bet you both of them were into witchery and sorcery. That's why they wanted to live in that triangle. And it was close to the bridge. And it was called White Man Drive. Yeah. The all seeing eye. Probably Illuminatus or something. Or they could have been excuse me, into that stuff. Excuse me. White men can't jump. Well, he lived on White Man Drive, Debbie. See that triangle down there? It's sort of like a triangle, and then it becomes a real triangle inside of the triangle. I seen a video a while back here saying that he moved there because the house came up for sale, and for some reason he wanted to live there. They said. Now, whether it was because of the area, it was close to the bridge, or it had to do with some kind of thing or something that they were saying, right? Some kind of the people that worked with him at Walmart said he was kind of weird, kind of into some crazy stuff. Let's zoom in there and see what we can really see. He lived right in the center, I believe, of this thing, somewhere over here. Let's see if we can get a street address. He lived at 1967. I wonder if they changed the addresses after the murders. I think he lived right here. There's two white pickup trucks. I wonder what actually date this satellite photo was taken. That's 1906. $1913. I bet you they changed the address. 1917. 1935. There it is, right here. 1967. And there's a white vehicle in there. When was this satellite photo taken? Who knows? That is exactly his house, 1967 Whiteman Drive. Debbie, do you think that's the girls in the back of his vehicle? When they say that it looks like they're crying, it looks like one of them, like Abby's, real mad at someone. She's got the slanted eyes going, the anger eyes. Is it possible that was in from inside his car, or do they know it's actually Kelsey's vehicle? I don't look. It looks like, I don't know. That's pretty crazy if you ask me. The main thing is, even after Richard Allen regained his sanity, he continued to confess. And now it's fine. Not what I believe is confession. Probably. Why? Because now the voice is starting to add up, like it sounds like him. And like I said before on this channel, he can confess to anything. But if the evidence don't fit to him, then it ain't him. And I got it wrong. Voice guy was not James Chadwell. Although James Chadwell did get picked up for uh, doing something very, very bad to a 9-year-old, and maybe more. So I think he's doing 90 years in prison, Chadwell. And I had a lot of people backlashing me because a lot of people were saying he was in prison at the time of the murders. And I was like, well, there's there's no proof showing that he was in prison. I thought he was released, uh, and he was free at the time of these murders. And he was picked up not soon after that of the murders. Uh, After he got the tattoo, all that stuff, he was picked up with a 9-year-old in his basement, chained up. So I was wrong on Chadwell's voice, right? Chadwell did sound like him, and Chadwell was the same size. Chadwell was a real small dude too, but he lifted weights and was thicker, and he also had a gait. He had a busted leg. That his family uh, did come out and say, they did say he was capable of doing the murders, and he had a busted leg. And even his own family, after certain things came out in the Delphi case, said he was capable at that time of doing something like that. and his voice did sound like it, uh, pretty close to what I could was hearing. But so were four other people. Crazy. Do you think he kidnapped them? Um, Now what we have to do is pinpoint, were the search people there that night telling the truth when they said impossible? They had dogs out there and they searched that area. And that makes sense because it was on the 11 o'clock news. And I could have swore it was pitch dark out and there was a lot of people out there already. And I could have swore I already seen cars uh, in the cemetery. So whether they were there searching or they just missed, I mean, you have to remember these were not professional search people. They weren't professional people. They were just friends and friends of the family. Um, they weren't law enforcement, legit law enforcement. And some people said there wasn't even a missing child report or a bulletin put out because at that time they weren't sure. The police weren't sure what was going on. Where did the picture come from? It just appeared yesterday or today. It was a photo that I believe was never shown. That the government just released, or the state, that they used in court. I believe I might be wrong. I never seen that photo of them in the car, and that would make sense to me. That Richard Allen's car was a special limited edition, probably, or something, hatchback. Now, with being black and tan, meaning black exterior, black paint with the tan uh, interior. So I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I'm not a professional. Hopefully, I got something right. I know I got Chadwell's voice maybe wrong, unless there's two guys. Unless there was two of them on the, unless the police were telling the truth, and there was more people that we haven't heard yet. What if that was a piece of the evidence that Jerry Holman was telling everybody, was telling Richard, I got plenty of more. I about fell out of my chair when Jerry Holman said, I got this ballistics and it's evidence against you. And Richard said, big deal. You got one piece of evidence that you got my bullet at the murder. Big deal. So one piece. And then what Jerry Holman say? I got a whole bunch of evidence. You think I'm not gonna release everything I got. I bet you that photo was evidence. And them girls were actually inside Richard Allen's car. Ooh, that'd be a spooky movie there. I am making TV right back. I'm listening. I can hear you. Nah, you never pay attention to me, anyways. I feel so lonely sometimes. Excuse me. I'm gonna make some tea myself. Debbie, if you can hear me, what's the chances that was Exhibit A or B as the state presented to the jury, right? This is Richard Allen's car. Special or limited edition black hatchback with tan interior. Ooh. Only so many made. VIN number tracked. Right? Maybe it was another one. There was only so many black ones. And we went through them all. Oh my God. And then they came up and said, Exhibit B. This is Abby and Libby. Notice the interior of the car. Tan. Notice the look on their faces. Oh my God. Man. Oh my God. Notice the back windows. The slight angle of the window. Notice the sunroof. Oh my God. Yeah. Hey, do you know where that one picture came from? I just told you, I think it came from the state. Debbie, the one of them in the car? The state, there's a stamp on it as, hello? Can you hear me, Debbie? Testing 1, 2. Check, check, check. Can you hear me, Debbie? Oh, okay, it's working. All right, I gotta get my tea. All right. Yeah, Debbie, I think that photo came from the state or something, or Exhibit A or something like that. If you blow it up, you can see they were crying. I'm not sure. I didn't blow it up yet. I didn't blow it up yet. I just looked at it and seen. I was more worried about the car. I was more worried about the car because it didn't look like Kelsey's car, or so I was more focused on the interior of the car and the shape of the windows and stuff. Weird picture, very weird, Johnny. Yes. Yes, Debbie. What do you think about all this, Debbie? Debbie, can I throw something at you? Let me tell you guys a little story. In the beginning of Delphi case, Kelsey said there was 30 girls out there. But there was one problem. We didn't have 30 girls call in and testify that they were there. So what did the people think that they were trafficked? What would you need to pull off trafficking 30 women at one time? You would need a giant vehicle like a semi truck or like a U-Haul truck. Wouldn't you? Yes. To transport that many. Now let's just say that that original story was true. Would that explain the box truck, the U-Haul truck that was parked in the satellite photo way down the road next to a telephone pole? Would that explain reports of a semi and they were looking for a semi driver? What if there was 30 girls and they sacrificed two to get away with the rest of them? I don't know. Wouldn't there be reports from family members? My daughter's missing. 30 of them? No. But that story changed then to 20. And then it dropped to, okay, 10. And then, okay, it was just a couple girls. What if they all were trafficked? And the police got mad because the social media or YouTubers got a hold of the story and leaked it out all over to whether to alert the traffickers that the police were onto them or to divert them. Well, that's a scenario, and it's possible, but I think we would have had more parents coming forward saying their children were missing. Debbie, there was no fight club. There was no fight club for young girls. Where is this fight club coming out from? I never heard of no fight club in this whole case. I don't know. Debbie, can you reveal your sources of where you are getting this fight club? There might have been a fight club, but for men, not these young women. How do you know? Because I never heard about no fight club out there. I didn't honestly. I didn't hear nothing about no fight club. Fight club was the furthest thing in my mind. Fight club. I don't know where that. Debbie, can you please give us your resources? Maybe I missed something, Debbie. You might be right. Maybe I missed something and Miss Fox is right. Debbie, do you work for Fox News? Just asking. How do you know young women are nasty to each other? Yes, but I don't think they went out there to fight. Do you? And don't you think we would have heard of a fight club for young kids going on in that area? I didn't hear anything on young teenager women fighting. It's possible. It's possible that she got punched by Richard or somebody as they were kidnapping her. Possibly. That's possible. Let's see what Debbie's saying. Girls, don't play girls. Don't play with girls. Don't play when they girl s. Don't play when they. I don't know if she's repeating it over. It might be Sean Harmon. Just joking. Or am I? Don't play when they fight. They fight real dirty. Oh, I don't know, Debbie. I don't know. You might be right, Debbie. I don't. I'm not around a lot of opposite sex right now, so things might have changed. Right? I know women do fight, but I didn't hear anything of a fight club. But I could be wrong. There could have been a fight club for young girls out there. I did hear about it. I read about it. Miss Fox says they had a fight club, and it was called 10 for 10 for 5 punch shapes. Whatever. I don't know. Debbie, you might be right. You might be. I'm just saying I never heard of it. Sorry. I will find the article. No, you don't have to find it, Debbie. I believe you. I believe you, Debbie. You know, I think I heard Prov say something about a fight club, but I don't know. For young girls, I mean, my God, how much has it changed? I'm sorry. When I was growing up, there there wasn't many two girls we hung around with. Too many women that beat their own brains or got in fights. But like a fight club where everyone shows up and each people fight each other or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem with our world. Everybody's punch happy and the whole world's got a disability like me. But I've been hit in the head a couple times pretty hard by some big dudes. Uh, Knocked me silly. Ba, ba, da, ba, 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 da, da, ba. Ba, da, da, ba, ba, ba. They took turns pushing and slapping. I don't know. Where were all these girls? But just between Abby and Libby? I mean, there was no one else there. I mean, who are they fighting? Kelsey? I mean, the sister was the last one to see him. Are you saying it's possible they got in a fight with the other 3 or 4 girls that were there? Abby and Libby got in a fight with the other 3 or 4 girls that were there? Maybe. It's very possible. I don't know. It's possible if it was Richard, he punched him in the face or punched one of the girls to keep them quiet or scare them or whatever. Uh, Maybe he tried to knock her out, but he was just so uh, wimpy or whatever. He couldn't even knock out a girl. And we don't know. All right, let me see what Debbie Fox is saying. No, between a group of girls, which is probably where the 30 came from. Well, in the beginning, there was 30 girls, but they didn't have anyone come forward. They didn't have 30 girls come forward. So they knew that must have been a lie. And then Kelsey said, well, it was 20 girls, right? And they said, well, there's not reports coming in from anybody or any girls. saying they were there and witnessed what happened. And then the number dropped where Kelsey said, well, there might have been 10 or less girls or something. I knew I see a girl there or somebody there, some girls there or something. So it dropped dramatically. And that's why people were thinking, okay, it's possibly these girls were trafficked. So we're looking for a semi, we're looking for trucks, we're looking for a box truck or something like a utility truck or a moving truck, which there was reports of that in the beginning. I don't know, Debbie. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. I think you would have heard more on there was a fight club for young 13, 14-year-old girls, but it's not, I'm not saying it's not possible. But well, it's okay to speculate because it's possible we don't know a lot of things yet, right? So it's very possible there was something like that going on. Do I think that's what happened? Probably not. We would have heard more about it. Someone would have said that we were there and the girls got their butts kicked or something, right? Sorry. This case is just ridiculous. It hurts my head after a while. Yeah, Debbie, just relax. Drink your tea. You got your tea? I did have some strawberry cheesecake today. Just got done having some. I had some buffalo wings or boneless buffalo, hot buffalo wings. Not wings, but nuggets and some cheesecake. Oh my God, it sounds like you are living in a house of horror, Debbie. Debbie, why don't you tell us your story? It sounds so horrifying. We should interview you. Debbie, when are you going to be here? You get to sit in the chair. I'm going to turn the lights down real low where no one will see your face. And then you can tell your story. Because it sounds like you had a rough house there with the kids. Your two girls running around with knives before they fight. If they wouldn't come forward in the first place, why would they come forward if there was a deadly fight? Oh my God. Are you telling me these 13-year-old, 14-year-old girls are fighting with knives? Well, that's possible. That's very possible, Debbie. Teenage girls while they hurt each other. I know, but they don't seem like that. Maybe they were. I mean, they were around guys. Clubs. Cody was supposed to be pretty wild or whatever, and Derek, meth and all that. So maybe, but I don't know. Where did that photo come from? That's the day of the murders. Uh, Libby is wearing the same shirt and jacket of what she was described wearing. My question is, if that's them on their way to the bridge, then they must have been fighting. Somebody got in a fight before they even got to the bridge, before they were even dropped off. They got in a fight. Yes, it's good to think outside the box. I'm very proud of you. You have learned so much since you've come to this channel, Grasshopper. And you could be on your way to being number one student. Yes, I know girls would kick each other's asses to death. I don't know why women would do that at such a young age, but maybe it's possible. But wouldn't we had more people witnessing there was a whole bunch of girls there? Wouldn't the witnesses, that seen bridge guy and everything, said, oh yeah, there was a whole bunch of girls out there and there was some kind of a fight going on? But we didn't have any of that. But it's possible in a good theory and look at it, Deb. Very good. Oh, you're welcome, Debbie. I just sent you a message to tell you that um, that's very possible, especially teenage girls. Yes, I know girls would kick each other's butt. They might, but I would still think that the witnesses would have said that there was a whole bunch of girls there and there was a fight going on. I mean, they seen Bridge Guy, right? They seen Bridge Guy, these witnesses. So why didn't they say, well, there was a bunch of girls there, and these young girls were fighting like wild animals? But we never heard that. Debbie says, women, oh my God, you're so sweet. Girls are so much more vindictive than men. It's a proven fact. Out for blood. Like, now you're scaring me, Debbie. Did you did you try and kill me, Debbie? I'm scared. I'm scared. Just want to be truthful. I know. Not if something bad happens. No, but the witnesses would have, Debbie. I know the girls might not have talked if something bad happened, but the witnesses would have came forward and said there was 30 girls out there, or some girls were fighting out there. But I don't think anyone reported that. I know them girls that are tomboys, they can be vicious. They can be vicious. I got someone trespassing on me, I think. Or something. I don't know. Girls can be wicked. Why? I don't understand why them two girls would be so wicked. I don't know. I wonder if the girls knew Richard's daughter, or Richard, or whatever. I'm wondering where that photo came from of them in the car that has been flipped. It's been flipped. She's not driving the car. She's in the passenger seat. But it looks like she's the photo that's out, that she's in the left hand seat, the driver's seat. So that photo was flipped. Whether she took it, if you, like I said, if there's settings even on the computer or a camera or whatever, that if you don't set it, it'll reverse the photo. It'll take a photo but reversed. So it's flipped, and it made it look like she was in the driver's seat of the car, and Abby was in the back seat. Girls, take it to the grave. Debbie, my God, will you give it a break with how evil the girls are, women are? Maybe that's why the Lord chose for me not to be around anyway. Debbie is really pushing these women are just, they'll beat each other to the grave. Then 30 girls that were out there, the 30 girls, well, that's what they said in the beginning of the case. There was 30 girls. But then that dropped to where there was only 20 because none of the witness said there was a bunch of girls out there. Let me see what Debbie said. You know, all this stuff going on. I just feel that they were led into it. They were led into it. Yeah. Yeah. You very might be right. Somebody led them to their fate. Yeah. Ah, another night. I'm gonna jump in the shower here. Maybe I'll do a fire tonight. Somebody led them there. Yeah, Deb, I agree. Something was going on. And I've seen videos where they're talking that someone switched the phone or the account or something uh, with Chelsea's phone, or Chelsea had something to do. No, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, something fishy going on. Now people are starting to say that the clocks were wrong. It was 54 minutes or 56 minutes fast. So it really wasn't 1:30. It was 12:30 or 12 o'clock, somewhere around there. So maybe things didn't add up. It would have been, they're saying that I forget what the autopsy said. If it's true, the girls woke up and before they left, they had breakfast and went to the bridge. There's a good chance that food wasn't even digested yet all the way. If the murders happened when they said they did, which I don't know. They said 14 to something hour, 14 hours or something like that. The girls died anywhere up to 14 to something hours or 14 to 16 hours or something like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the autopsy again. But it ain't adding up because if it's true, they went out there after supposedly they ate or whatever, they ate breakfast. I could have swore they said it takes 4 to 6 hours for the food to leave the stomach and go into the digestive tract. So I don't know. It's just crazy. We don't know. We know this much. It's Richard Allen's car. We know that. Now, whether he was leaving already and the job was already done, or he kidnapped the girls, and that was him leaving with the girls when they caught his vehicle. One of the things, something ain't adding up. I want to get that out for so long. Thanks, John. Let me see what she said. Debbie Fox says, but I also think that it could have been someone's sick fantasy. Always remember there was a bunch of hair from women there, and yeah, a bunch of hair from a woman from a fight grabbing her handfuls of hair, maybe. Well, there was that one video out that said it's possibly that it was Kelsey's hair and she was grabbing her hair or whatever, as maybe she was being murdered. But then they said, no, it's probably from the sweatshirt. And when she put it on, it got entangled in her hand or something. She might not have known it. Add the wifey help. Well, maybe. Somebody was in that car. No. All right, I think I'm going to end this video. I'm going to jump in the shower real quick. I feel like I've been ran over by a steamroller today. No, you know how uncomfortable that would be. I don't know. I don't know. All right, I might be back here shortly after a shower. Maybe with a fire, maybe not. Maybe I'll try and get some relaxed time. And there's numerous scenarios of what could have happened, whether it be one man or many people involved. Will we ever know the truth? I don't know. And to me, it points to there was some kind of a sick thing going on down there with maybe many, who knows? He could have said, yo, I did something bad, come help, please. His wife would have helped him either finish the job or try and cover it up. Yeah, that's true. Or a friend or somebody. Did he know the guy in the white van? Did he mention the white van? Because in his head, they might have used the white van, or he's seen a white van, right? I seen a white van, I got spooked. Was he telling the truth? Or he used, or they used the white van? I mean, in his psychological mind that he was in at that time, he might be telling the truth, but within his lies and not even know it. And because they kept the court so hush hush, this is what happened. Like the court had something to hide. Yeah. His wife could have helped him either finish the job or try to cover it up. Maybe. Right? He confessed to other stuff, supposedly, people were saying that he killed somebody. He killed a grandfather and his kids or something like that, or his grandfather. Well, wouldn't you know it, over in Ohio? They were looking for some guy that killed an old man and a lady that had grandkids or something like that. So Richard Allen might have cracked under pressure, and that Ohio detective that called in to Delphi saying we got a tip from somebody that our boy is in your town. Oh man, that could it have been Richard? No, that would make a good. I'll tell you what, that investigator, I watched his I watched his video, right? He got a tip from somebody that they said they seen somebody uh, having to do with a case of that old man in Ohio, I think it was, where his house was robbed and things were taken from him, and they killed him. I do believe. Was it with a knife? I don't know. This is crazy, ain't it? Ain't it? But when you got detectives calling from other states saying they're getting tips or leads that are leading back to Delphi, uh, Something was going on down there, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? And because they kept the court, so how shouldn't that happen? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's possible. I don't know. I need protection up here. Probably a couple, 4 or 5 Rams, maybe a couple Warhogs, maybe an F-35 or something, maybe an F-47, the new one that they have. Possibly 2 tank battalions and maybe 2 battleships uh, in Lake Michigan, and probably 2 or 3 platoons. That should keep me. I'll feel safe. I will be able to get some sleep at night. I would feel safe then. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I would feel safe then. I'd be able to sleep. I might be low on ammo there, but maybe a couple of Apache helicopters too. Then I would rest my head at night. I mean, when you're in this deep into the rabbit holes and you get too close to the truth, well, you need protection. I don't know. Someone get hold of Pentagon, see if we can go ahead and scam me up a couple platoons and a couple battleships and a couple warhogs. I mean, just so I can sleep at night. All right, guys, come on. Massive doubt in the case. No, there's doubt in everything, and now they are letting bits and pieces out. Like, what the f? Now you all look shady, really shady, and cause massive doubt in case. Well, if you were watching, if you're a crime fighter or a crime investigator, couch potato or whatever, you would have seen these cases, and that case that I'm talking about is on YouTube already. I do believe it was in Ohio or Iowa or Ohio, where the detective got a lead and it led back to Delphi. That somebody that was making a video on YouTube was seen with an object from the crime scene of an old man and woman. And I don't know if he had his grandkids or not. It had something to do with grandkids, or he had grandkids or something. But was Richard confessing to that when he said he killed an old man and his grandkids? No, I'm not trying to gaslight it. These are the videos that were out there that were saying it. And that crime of that case uh, is on YouTube right now as we speak. So it very well might have been somebody from Delphi that did that. Well, I'm just talking in circles, probably. I'm going to take a shower and relax. The whole world's gone hantavirus and mad cow. Debbie, is there anything you want to say before we leave this subject of the Delphi case? It's just too much. 8 years of this. I need psychiatric help. Probably hazard pay. Can I get psychiatric hazard pay? Because this case has drove everybody. Everyone has been attacked by. I have no idea what that thing is. I'm being honest. I don't know what it is. I don't know if the state created it to try and keep us quiet in the case, or if these people that did the murders, or some witch or something down there, or somewhere did something and was attacking us in the name of Jesus Christ. I don't know what it was, what it is. It attacks us, feels like it's choking us around the neck. It feels like it's jabbing us. It's just horrible. Enough of this. I got to get off this contraption. I'll be back. God bless everybody. Folks, get ready. We got storms coming in a couple days, I believe. Possible tornadoes and stuff. So get ready. Debbie, it's always nice hanging out with you. Such a smart, intelligent brain. You have a great night. Yes, mice called dare mice also carry hantavirus. You have a good night.